Hi everyone, my name is Saba Mirza. I'm a Director of Product Marketing here at Automation Anywhere, and I'm really excited to be hosting today's session of AAIllustrates. And more than that, I'm excited about the topic that we're going to be covering, which is Community Edition. Community Edition is one of the product lines that Automation Anywhere offers. And we are going to go into a little bit of an overview of what it is, how it works, and get the basics answered. Before we do that, let's talk about AAIllustrates. This session is designed to answer your questions or to cover topics that you have indicated are important to you to learn about. So please keep those the feedback and the ideas coming. You can always comment in the comment section, and we'll do our best to cater future episodes to make sure that we're covering topics that are of interest to all of you. And speaking of interest and questions, you can answer ask any of your questions today by submitting them in the comment section below, and we'll have some of our Automation Anywhere teammates respond to some of those questions, and I'll do my best as well to respond at the end of the session by going into the comments and responding there. So with that, here are the topics we're going to be covering today. We'll do a quick recap of RPA, and then we'll go into Community Edition. We'll look at some of the basics, and I'm going to walk you through the product with a live tour so you can understand what Community Edition is all about. If you've already been using Community Edition, this might be a little bit of a refresher, but please stay tuned and let's go through right now. So first, let's start off with robotic process automation. For those of you that are new here, you're wondering what is RPA, or you're joining today because you want to learn more about RPA. So we all have these tasks that we do on a daily basis, or processes that have a lot of manual effort. That takes a lot of our time. We do it over and over again. And it may or may not be the core of what we do, but everything that we do is important to the business. But our time is valuable as well. So with robotic process automation, you can develop software bots or robots to do the manual tasks for you and automate these processes so you can be more efficient. The processes are completed more accurately, more reliably. When bots are configured correctly, then they don't make mistakes. That frees you up with more productive time, maybe more time back for your personal life. Being able to maybe build better relationships with your customers or with your colleagues, and have time to come up with creative ideas or more innovation. That's a very high level of what robotic process automation entails. For a deeper dive into RPA, I recommend watching the RPA 101 episode of AAIllustrates that was done by my colleague, Micah Smith. We have here the QR code with a link to directly to that episode. If you're on your laptop or computer, you can use your smartphone to grab that link. And the same thing with this other episode, which is Building a Bot with Community Edition, also done by Micah. So afterwards, when you're done watching this, you can go and apply your ability to build a bot using Community Edition side by side with Micah. And now let's move on to our topic at hand, Community Edition. So here's a snapshot of what Community Edition looks like. And when we go through the tour, I'll get into all the details of what you see here. But essentially, Community Edition is a web-based, it's a cloud product. It's a web-based platform that what we do is we enable you to have access to each of our major product lines. So you can have access to our Enterprise RPA, our AI and Insights tools, and I'll describe those in a little bit. But who is Community Edition for? I get this question a lot, like, should I be starting with Community Edition? And if you are curious, RPA curious, as I say, then yes, you should be starting with Community Edition so you can understand not only what our platform is about, but how to use different RPA tools. If you've already used other tools or you're already a pro with RPA, you can also use Community Edition to get familiar with this new cloud-based platform that we offer. And additionally, we have seen an affinity from these type of users using Community Edition, developers who like to be able to have a development environment which they can test and experiment with, students that could include working professionals already who are looking to upskill, or students in college or high school that are preparing for the future of work and wanted to really get involved in those emerging technologies. You can take free online courses with Automation Anywhere University. So you get the knowledge of what RPA is about and how our technology works. And then you can use Community Edition to actually practice those skills. And small businesses and small teams, just like large businesses or large teams, you also have processes that you wish you could automate, or they could make them more efficient or faster, so you can spend time on the core strength of what your business is all about. And so Community Edition gives you an opportunity to start to play around with automation and put that to test and actually automate some of the processes and see the business impact that RPA could have overall. And then why get started with Community Edition if you're starting your automation journey? So again, Community Edition provides you access to our entire platform. And the unique piece is that you get access to not only RPA, but also the AI components. And this, is very different in the sense that you can train AI and you can actually put it to actual use in real life scenarios that make an impact. So you can take RPA to automate a process and then add the AI pieces in there to actually have an end-to-end automation. You can also access RPA on the web, and so that's a really good reason to get started, because you don't have to worry about downloading a whole bunch of software or having an infrastructure, all the technology, all the things that you need to support an RPA tool. And then the best of all is that we offer full bot creation capabilities. You can build from simple bots all the way to very complex bots by using Community Edition. And I'll show you what some of those are when we go do the product tour. And then also you can build at any skill level. So if you're new to RPA, you've got the ability to just drag and drop, or record your actions for no code building, low code building. And if you're a developer, you can also take advantage of things like inline scripting. You can bring in Python code, for example, if you want to infuse your bots or your automation process with maybe AI capabilities there. So you can start at any level, and so that's there's no barriers there. And most of all, and I've said this a few times already, but it's a free platform. It's a free tool. There's no strings attached, so you can get started. You have, we provide you access to build all the bots that you want, and you can, continue to use Community Edition for as long as you need to. How to get started or where to get started, you can go to our website, automationanywhere.com. You can also use that QR code again if you're on your laptop, and you can just grab that with your smartphone. But you can go to our website, go to our product page, and enter in some basic information, and we'll send you your credentials to log in to Community Edition. Now with that, let me actually show you what the product looks like and what it's all about. So we're going to switch over here now to the product. I'm just getting onto the website right now. So let me switch over to the web, and I'm just going to log in, and then we'll share my screen with you. So now you should be able to see my screen. And here we go. So now you can see we are in what we call our home page, or our home screen. And we're also on a Chrome browser here. You can use any web browser. However, we recommend using Chrome. We also have a handy Chrome extension that makes the experience a little bit more seamless. So on this homepage is where you would access the different parts of our platform. So you can go into building a bot with RPA. You can start to train IQ bot with to how to extract different types of data from different documents. So again, that's putting AI into action. And then once you have one of the training instances done, you're ready to deploy that into your bots. And then you can also add analytics and visualize your bot performance. So you can see what bots are, how your bots are performing. And then also you can drill down based on the data that is processed within the automation workflow. You can actually see the business impact of each of the automations as well. And then coming soon, we have the bot store, which is a marketplace that we have ready-made downloadable bots. So you don't have to start from scratch. We will cover each of these topics in future AAIllustrate episodes, where we'll go in depth and we can show you how each of these works. For today, this is a product tour, so I'm just going to take you around so you get an idea of what our product is all about. Now let's move to this top banner here and move to the upper right corner. So this question mark is where you would go to get help. We have a direct link to our documentation site that gives you all of the technical details from describing our features and functions and system requirements and everything you need from a detailed perspective of how to use the product. We also make it really easy with walkthroughs, so you can join a product tour and go through a step-by-step of building a bot. On the support side, you can use AAPeople, which is our community forum, which you can join for free, and ask any questions you have there. One of our members from our AAPeople community was likely to jump in and help you out with your question pretty fast. Then let's move on to this globe, which is how you would change languages, which is pretty cool because all you need to do is with a click, you can be in a different language. So you can build in Japanese, you can Korean, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, German, Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese. So there's nothing, any kind of heavy settings or anything. It's just with a click of a little radio button, you're able to build bots in the language you choose to. So let's go back to English in here. This icon here, the little computer icon with this check mark, that shows you that your device is connected to your account in the cloud. So there's one small piece a lightweight application to install, which is we call the bot agent. And what the bot agent does is exactly that. It connects your account in the cloud to your computer, so all the bots you build can actually run on your machine. And then you can set up your user profile information. You can see here we're logged into my colleague Ashraf Aziz's account, and he can go in and edit his profile and change his password right here. Now let's move to the left-hand panel of the product. So we're on the home screen right now. The dashboard shows you information such as how many bots you have built, what are some of the most common used actions, which helps you determine what type of processes or automations that are taking place, how many times you've run bots, and then an average of how long it's taking you to build your bots. So Ashraf here is very new to both Automation Anywhere and to the RPA industry. And so taking him about an hour to build bots is actually pretty good, and just goes to show that, with a little bit of, once you get started, it doesn't take you long to get the hang of it. Your activity, you can see if you have any bots running, what the progress is. You can also look at historical progress of bots that you have run in the past. And then, so you can see here, the ones with the green, those are run successfully. The ones that have an alert, there could have been an exception or an error, so you can go back and check what that was about. We'll come back to my bots in a second. My devices shows you that you're connected to this device. User, again, your user information and administration. And now let's go into my bots, which is the most exciting part. So this is where you will see all the bots that you have created. If you're new to Community Edition, this will be an empty space. These are some of the bots that Ashraf has in his Community Edition. You can start to create. You can edit any of these bots by clicking on them, or you can create a new bot by simply clicking this icon. You enter in a name. So we'll just call this Saba. Since we're illustrating here, so now when you start to create your bot, you end up in the bot editor, or the what we like to call also the workbench. And this is where all the bot magic happens. In this environment is where you're going to build your bots, edit your bots, and you're going to put in all the details. This is where you're going to program them and then run them from here so that you can automate your processes. So in this space here is where you can drag and drop different actions. So the actions are here. Actions are basically commands that you're telling the bot to do. And these here are, that you see here are all packages that open up. So you have a different level of different layers of actions within packages. For instance, in the browser, you can download a file, find broken links, you can launch your website. We all have in one of our Excel packages, we have more than 50 different commands, because a lot of processes are business processes entail using Excel. For our purposes here today, we're going to build a very simple bot by having a message box pop up that's just gonna say hello world. So you can click that, or you can drag and drop, and you can see it's in there now. When you put an action into the workflow, you can set up the details here on the right hand side. So each action is going to have a unique set of details or parameters that it needs from you in order to do its job. So in this case, it's asking what will the message be that will be in the box. So let's go ahead and put in hello world. And we're also going to set the box to close automatically after maybe 6 seconds. And now we're going to apply our changes. You'll always get prompted to save your changes. So if I try to do something else, it'll tell me I need to save my changes. So that's good. So it's kind of like a safety net there. So I'm going to save my changes, save my bot. And now I'm going to run my bot. And you'll see this bot, the message box should pop up with hello world and then close itself out after 6 seconds. So now the bot is getting ready to run, where the bot agent is connecting to the computer. And now you'll see the status bar come up for the bot. And there we go. There's a message box, hello world, and it's going to close within 6 seconds. So there we go. Success. So that was the most simple type of bot you could build. I just wanted to show you that really quick. But let's take a look at some of Ashraf's bots. So let's go into this invoice creation bot here. So you'll see here, you can see these different steps that he has in this bot. Right now we're in the flow view, which is right here. And you can toggle between different views. So flow view lets you see your bot in a visual aspect, almost like in kind of like a flow chart. And then list view lets you see your bot or build your bot in a list, so that you can, if you just need to look at it in less visual way and just more from a line by line aspect. Either way, you can go in and update any of the actions by clicking on the action itself. You can also look at dual view, which shows you a combination of the list and the visualization, and you can work on any of those aspects as well. Let's just go back to the flow view for a second. What I'd like to show here is some of the things. What's interesting about this bot that Ashraf has built here to capture an invoice creation process is that you'll see here that there's an icon here that is like a movie recording icon, and you can see that throughout for every step. So what that is actually using the recorder function. This is a universal recorder that works across different applications, from web to desktop apps to CRMs or ERP systems. And what it does is that when you hit record, you can actually do the process like you would. So maybe you want to open a website, grab some data, put it into an Excel file, maybe you want to send an email. So all those different steps are captured automatically by the recorder. And then the recorder assembles this bot that has all these steps in it. So you can see that here. And then you can go into any of these steps and start to add the details or make any adjustments that you need to do. And so that's the easiest way to get started, is just by recording your actions and then letting the bot do the work for you. And so those are actions, and that's some of the bot details. The other aspect you have are triggers, so you can set up different kinds of triggers, whether file or folder based, or if there's like a button click somewhere that can trigger an element of the bot or trigger the bot. Variables are we have system variables that are predefined, or you can create your own variables by just clicking the plus button. And these are different ways that you can store different data types, like maybe a data table. So you want to be able to grab some data and you want to put it in a table, or you want to be able to create some kind of a dictionary, and so that you can utilize afterward for different steps in your automation. So that is a little bit about what Community Edition is all about. The next steps in terms of what do you do? So now you've seen what it looks like. My recommendation would be to then you can then get. Let me just move back to where I was. And the way you would do that is, again, you would, what I suggest is you should, let me go here, grab this. Okay. So we're back here, we just did the product tour. I would suggest that you create an account and get started. You take courses on AAU, Automation Anywhere University, that are Enterprise A2019 focused. With any of the Enterprise A2019 courses, you can use Community Edition to actually to do the bot building portions of those. Practice your skills by coming back to Community Edition and trying to use all the different kinds of actions that are available to you. And then also joining our A People forum so that you can, ask your questions, get help. There's over 180,000 members that are all RPA practitioners at all different levels, and so you can probably find people that can either at the same place you are in your automation journey, or people that are more experienced that you can leverage as well. With that, let me just cover a few questions that we get about Community Edition. So what's the difference between Community Edition and Enterprise A2019? So Enterprise A2019 is our paid product. It actually, Community Edition is designed for individual use or smaller scale use, whereas Enterprise A2019 gives a company full control over all the different aspects of RPA. So they have a lot of administrative controls that you can, manage your users, manage your devices, you can manage your bots, you can set up workload management, you can set up bot scheduling. So everything you need to launch an organization or launch and deploy an organization-wide automation program. So then what's the difference between Community Edition and free trial? These are both free products. We get this question a lot as well. So free trial is a 30-day free trial designed for companies that are evaluating RPA or looking to make an investment in RPA, and have some processes in mind that they want to test out first. And for 30 days, you get access to our whole product. You also get tech support and someone to help you guide you through the experience. Whereas Community Edition, it's we like to have it call it a self-serve experience, where you log in, you try it for yourself. There isn't you don't have a limitation in terms of timing, and again, it's meant more for individual use versus kind of a company-wide use. Number of bots can you build in Community Edition? Just as I said, you have your full bot creation capabilities. You also have unlimited bots that you can build. The only limitation is that you can build as many bots as you want, but you can run them on one device. So you create one account that's tied to a device, so that you can run as many bots as you want on your machine or your device. And the most popular question, or the most frequently asked question that I get, is where's the download button? So this is an important question, because as you saw when I walked you through the tour, that everything you needed to do with Community Edition was in one web-based location. We didn't have to switch any apps. We didn't have to go to a client. And that's the thing that's different about Community Edition compared to maybe previous versions of the product we had, or other products that are out there, that you don't have to have a separate client where you have to build your bots in, and then you connect it to a control room and run your bots. You can do everything from one spot on the web. And I think with that, we have reached the conclusion of our AAIllustrates episode for today. Thank you very much for tuning in, and looking forward to your feedback.